Cheryl, thanks so much for meeting with me face to face. The online chat is fine for some things, but I really need to have someone like you sit down with me and go over how to manage these online courses, especially time-wise. I know you've taken several online courses before this one and I know you've done very well, just like you do in face-to-face classes. You've always seemed so organized.
Thank you, Denise. I'm happy to meet with you. I have learned a few things about managing online learning that I can share with you. It was something I had to adjust to. It's tempting to think that just because you're not attending a class on a regular schedule that you don't have to do rigorous academic work, but that's not the case.
Yes, I'm starting to see that. At first I loved the freedom of not attending a regular class, but I think now that I need to manage my time better. It's starting to get the best of me, so I could use some advice. I know Miss Carol went over time management techniques with us. But I just need to talk to a fellow student and see if you think all those techniques are important, or if they are just for nerds.
I don't think they are just for nerds. There really is an art to time management in online courses. It's one of the most important things you can do to be successful in the course. I don't want to be negative since time management is a positive thing, but let's start off with some negative consequences of poor time management in online courses.
Yay! Sometimes I'm a little motivated by negative consequences. It's not always a bad thing.
Procrastinating in an online course is so tempting because you don't meet the class at a regular time or in person, and that can lead to turning in assignments late or having technical problems at the last minute that keep you from meeting deadlines or submitting assignments. Also, in posting to discussions, at the last minute you might have to do a lot of reading to catch up on that discussion and then you have to add your own comments, which takes time. And postings have deadlines too.
Yes, I think procrastinating has been a big part of my problem up to now. I feel like I can do the work, but it's tempting to keep putting it off because I have so much to do and there's not a teacher standing over me every day to answer to.
I experienced that a little in my first online class. But I realized I had to get it in gear and get a plan or it was going to eat my lunch. Let's go over some things that will help you manage your time. I know they really help me.
Let's hear it.
There's 3 main things that really help me in keeping a handle of things. 1. Keeping a calendar of tests, due dates, projects, etc. and checking and updating it daily. 2. Reviewing assignments every week. 3. Making a daily schedule. You're going from the big picture to the smaller one this way. We'll go over these in more detail.
Sounds good so far.
First, and very important, is the calendar. It's different from the course syllabus in that it helps you see, in a visual way, the big picture, which is important, in the day-to-day details, too. You can keep a paper and pencil calendar or something digital. Just keep a calendar. You know we have a calendar within the course, too. We can see the overview of the whole semester on Hone and on one day the island a way to highlight and add your own info to the calendar so that only you can see it. I know some students who keep their calendar on their cell phones so they can always access it. I just can't say enough about keeping a calendar. I can't manage my course without them.
Yes, I think I'll start using that course calendar more and really keep it up to date.
Yes, and it's important that you review and update it every day. Now for the weekly review. Reviewing your assignments weekly helps you stay on track while still being flexible if any schedule changes come up. You need to estimate how long tasks are going to take and how to schedule your time for the coming week. It's a good idea to do it on a set day, like Friday. If you look over the syllabus and calendar on Friday for the upcoming week, you know you have that weekend time for study or for getting some of the assignments done, especially if it's going to be a full week.
That's a good idea, it makes sense. That's sure not the way I was doing it before.
The third big time management technique is making a daily schedule. Make a to-do list every morning, whether it's pencil and paper or a digital list, of everything you need to do or accomplish that day, and mark off items as you do them. This gives you a real sense of accomplishment.
This all makes so much sense, going from the calendar, the big picture, to the weekly tasks to the daily tasks, the smaller things. I never thought of it that way.
Yes, it really is a good system. It helps me big time. Let's talk about a few other things that can help with time management. How to study. Determine what is the best time of day for you to study and try to do it at that same time every day. That best time varies from person to person. I'm a night owl, so that's when I get a lot done. Also, study the harder or more boring subjects first, and study in the same place every time if possible. For some, music helps, but songs with lyrics can be distracting. You just have to find the best fit for you with your study routine as far as when, where, and how. It's not the same for every person.
Yes, I'm not so good late at night. And I do have a pretty good setup for studying at home. As for music, I'll just need to experiment with that.
Here are a few last things about daily time management that might help. Do your reading and problem solving earlier since they require more concentration. Reviewing and any additional reading can be done later on. About reading, do some every day. It can get out of hand quickly. Don't rely on crash study. Plan your study time as reserve time just like a regular appointment.
So you really use these techniques?
I promise you, Denise, I do. They made a huge difference for me. I wouldn't waste your time telling you a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't personally vouch for.
Well, I'm impressed. So many of these techniques make such good sense, and to hear you vouch for them really cinches it. I think I really needed a structured system like this. I'm going home and get my new system in place.
Yes, it is structured, and I think that structure is important, but it's also flexible. It certainly has helped me. Let's touch base from time to time to see how you're doing.
That's great. Let's do it. Thanks so much for all the help you've given me. I got so much more out of this than reading some dry list of time management techniques, and it got your own personal endorsement, so that's pretty good.
Glad to help, anytime.